exactly, Neeraj, and Veera is going to join me to do exactly that. So the number that we're seeing right now is 303 for the NDA and 205 for India. And that graphic is so cool, Veera. It's like you're in our studios completely. So let me start with that fact that no matter what the final result is, and maybe not as what the street expected, would it be fair to say at this point that the BJP seems to have made major headways into the southern part of the country?
Not yet, not yet. Hold on. Look, you've got to take a little time. Some of these numbers tend to sort of vary over a period of, let's say, half an hour, 45 minutes. I think around 11:30 you've got to see that. Let's just leave the southern part alone. Look at the UP numbers. That's where the reversal has happened. There seems to be huge battle for the BJP there in UP. In Rajasthan, you can see the blue marks on that graphic of ours, right? UP, Rajasthan, these are interesting. In South, when you look at Tamil Nadu, for instance, you still see the AIADMK up. We'll have to wait for the vote shares, etc., to sort of solidify before we come out. And also when we speak about those numbers there, Tamanna, one needs to look at the BJP versus Congress, and not more importantly the BJP numbers per se, because at the moment the focus is on NDA numbers that we are talking about. So let's look at the BJP's numbers per se. As per the Election Commission website, about 220 leads at the moment. So it will be very interesting to watch how this develops over the next 1 hour. Some really fascinating trends that's coming up. It does seem at the moment, the initial indication is that the scale of the victory that the exit polls had predicted isn't happening. It seems to have been a tough fight that the opposition has given into it. But how it's going to play out at the end of the day, we'll need at least another hour or two to have clear-cut answers for that.
Agreed, completely, Veera. And to point out here that what we showed was the poll of polls. Pollsters have a lot to answer for today, if these are the numbers indeed. 250 odd for the BJP as per our numbers. We're waiting for the Election Commission's final numbers. And you spoke about Uttar Pradesh, bang on, but I also want to add Maharashtra and Gujarat. Two set of states that we should look at. Maharashtra just looking like a tougher fight. Just one sec, Veera. Maharashtra looking like a tougher fight than expected. And Gujarat, if the Congress is actually going to bag some seats, then that's pointing to the bigger picture not being as close as was expected.
That's right. Maharashtra was a state of agrarian discontent that was spoken about. You had the split in the Sena, split in the NCP. Remember, the BJP per se had 23 seats in Maharashtra in 2019. It was the Sena which had 18 seats. So how much the numbers of the BJP itself is going down would be interesting. Karnataka, again, the Congress seems to be holding on to its own at the moment, at least in terms of at least having 10 seats where the Congress is 10, 11 seats where the Congress is ahead. A lot of congressmen were hoping for 10 to 12. But Maharashtra, you see that map out there. The Congress and the India alliance, holding on to a large section. Now, it will be interesting to see the breakup on how much is the Uddhav Thackeray Sena's seats, how much is the NCP seats, how much is the Indian National Congress's seats. Largely, how much is the NCP Pawar faction seat, and largely how much is the Shiv Sena Uddhav faction seat. I think those blue numbers there are largely those.
All right, we'll get you back on in a bit when the picture is clearer, like you said, Veera. But great to see you joining us virtually in the Mumbai studio. Very, very cool. Shout out to our team that's put together this fantastic graphic. But meanwhile, let me go back to all of the action in the markets as well, which is still digesting what has happened. I would dare say there's been a recovery from the lowest point of the day, because the understanding that even with the 303, the NDA does have another term, and they will have to come to terms with perhaps a BJP not having a simple majority on its own.
Might